right, so last time I talked about the labor market, right? I talked about we have a single labor market. We're describing supply and demand for labor generally. And we talked about it as though there was only one wage and only one market. And then by the end of the day, we were talking about human capital, right? Human capital being one thing that explains why there's such a thing as a wage differential. Remember, a wage differential is simply two different people getting paid different amounts for their work. That's all that it is. Right? Very general idea. It's not specific about why that is. There are many reasons why that is. We'll talk about that. So we talked about human capital being one reason. And human capital basically says different people have different skills and payment will be based on those skills. Partially, it's that some people are more skilled workers than others. And so employers are going to bid up their labor because they want to get the person who can actually do stuff. Somebody can really do stuff for you. You're going to be willing to pay them more. The other side of it is specific human capital, which is that different people have different specific skills. That you can't just take those skills and jump from one job to the other, right? If I'm a doctor, I can't just jump and go become a car mechanic just because the wage of car mechanics went up. I don't have those skills. At least it would take me a long time to learn them. This means that different occupations can have different, basically, job markets, entire job markets specific to that occupation, and then you can't just jump from one to the other if the wages go up some. So unlike in this, like the snow shovel story that we talked about, where the price of snow shovels went up, somebody from Tacoma ran in with all their snow shovels to sell. If the price of doctors go up, you can't just jump in your car and go become a doctor because you hear that their wages went up, right? So that's one reason why we might have wage differential. So today we're going to talk about some other reasons. Before we do that, we're going to play a game. So here's how this game is going to work. Some of you are going to be employers and some of you are going to be employees, right? So each employee is going to get a card. This card will indicate how productive you are. And specifically what will indicate how productive you are is the number on the front, okay? So whatever number you get, that's how productive of a worker you are. So if you have a 6 and you get hired by an employer, then you will predict you will create 6 value for that employer. Right? They want to hire you knowing that you're going to make 6. However, the employer does not get to see your number. You are not allowed to show them. Right? There's going to be some similarities here between this game and the game that we played with the cars, right? Or the making the high and low quality goods. But here you don't get to choose what you are, you just get assigned. So you're either going to get a red card or a blue card, and the distribution of productivities is different depending on which color you get. So the red cards, they go 2 through 6, right? So if you see somebody who has a red card, you know that their number is 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, equal probably. The blue cards, on the other hand, go 4 through 8. Okay, so red cards go 2 through 6, blue cards go 4 through 8. As an employee, you have to let the employer see what color you have, but you may not show them your number. You're not allowed. So you're going to get a card if you're an employee. You're going to know your own number, but you're not going to be allowed to show anybody else what your number is. If you don't have a card, that means you are an employer. You're trying to hire people. You can hire as many people as you want. You don't have to stop at one. Now, that's the whole thing, right? You're going to, just like we did with our market game, you're going to run around. You're going to try to find people to hire or try to get hired. Then you're going to report. You're going to agree on a wage, and then you're going to report what you got at this website right here. whoknows.nextchk.com. So what are you trying to do in this negotiation? Well, as an employee, if you're getting hired, you don't really care about the number on your card. The number on your card does not actually affect you. It only affects your employer. All you are trying to do is get the highest wage you possibly can. That's all you care about. You want to get hired and get paid. Okay, that's your goal. So negotiate for a higher wage if you can. If you're an employer, you do want this number to be high, right? So you want, your payoff basically is whatever number is on the card minus the wage that you pay the person. So for example, let's say that this person comes up to you, you don't know their number, you do see their color, and you say, okay, let's agree on a wage. I don't know, let's say it's going to be 5, let's say. Okay. So you'd agree, it's a wage of 5. You could have a different wage for different people that you hire. You could do that. And then once you're done, once you've agreed on the wage and it's settled, then they reveal their card. Okay. As the employer, I get 6 minus the 5 that I pay to the person. Okay, so I just got 1 point, basically. As the employee, you get the 5 that you just got paid. That's it. Now keep in mind, it could be that we just agreed on a wage of 5. Oh, look, it's less than 5. I, the employer, just lost money. So as you're negotiating this wage, you'll want to keep in mind, you don't, you want to, as the employer, you want the wage to be lower than the number on the card. You don't know the number on the card. As the employee, you just want to wage as high as possible. And you don't know who's got which number, but you know the distribution of numbers. Right? Once you have your wage agreed on, submit the info right there, and we'll see what happens. Any questions about what we're doing? Yeah.
Only be employed by one person.
Correct. You can only be employed by one person, but if you are an employer, you can hire multiple people. All right. Go find jobs. So for round one, we'll do this one more time. So the average, oh, there we go. There they go. Okay. So the average blue wage was 6.3, and the average red wage, oh, mark on the end, was 5 exactly. So what we have certainly a difference in average wages based on the color of the cards. Let's do this one more time. Same rules as before, just see what happens for round 2. Let's switch it up a little bit. All right, so it looks like, oh. Okay, so it looks like we have an average of about 6 for blue and an average of about 4.75 for red. All right, so we'll come back to this. I hope today, because otherwise I'll have to remember what happened. I should take a picture of that.